All right, we can go ahead and get started. So hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Thina Lindhorst, and I'm the Executive Director for Love Living at Home. We would love to start with just some quick introductions. So if you feel like turning your cameras on, so we can see your faces during the intro round, that would be great. If not, we'll just have those who choose to have their cameras on do a quick introduction. As I said, my name is Thina Lindhorst, the LLH ED, and I started with the organization just this past December. So I am fairly new to the organization. We'll just ask you to state your name and your reason for joining us today. And I will pass it on to Cassie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cassie Biesmer. I'm the Assistant Director at Love Living at Home. I've been with the organization since 2019, and I work a lot with our members for helping provide services and connecting them with resources. I'll pass it to Jim.
My name is Jim Garnader. I am the co-chair of the board of Love Living at Home. I also chair the Marketing and Communications Committee. I've been involved with Love Living at Home since day one. Carol and I have been down the road, so I'll pass it to Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol Shealy, and I've been involved since day one when friends had the idea of starting a village like Love Living at Home. I thought it was a great idea, and Jim will explain how we started. And I said, how can I help? And so I'm on the board. I've been chair of the program committee, the services committee, and several other committees. I stepped down as chair of the program committee, and I am on the program committee as a member. I lead the women's walking group, and we walk every other Monday, and I'm a volunteer, and I drive many people throughout the year for Love Living at Home, and it's been a joy. Wendy?
Hi, I'm Wendy Quadro, and I have been with Love Living at Home for 4 years. I joined in probably April 2020, or maybe it was June, COVID, and I felt isolated. My husband was still working. I had retired. I wanted information and I wanted connections. And so Love Living at Home just fit in and filled a very, very important need that I had. And then my involvement grew. I became chair of the membership committee. I'm on the board. I've met so many wonderful, wonderful people in many different venues, whether it's small groups or large groups or information sessions. So it's been a great experience. And I'm so glad to see you here, because hopefully we can let you catch a taste or a flavor of what we're all about, and maybe you'll think about joining us.
And Wendy, will you pass it along to someone else that hasn't spoken yet?
Oh, sure. Jeanette? We can't hear you, Jeanette.
You can't hear me now.
I can hear you now.
Now we
Okay.
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
First you couldn't see me, and now you couldn't hear me. As I said, this is a brand new computer. I guess I don't know as much as I thought I did. So I'm Jeanette McCord. I live here in Ithaca, New York. I have a mother who's 99 years old who wants to live at home. And so I've been working on that for her for a few years, and I don't know, I just feel like I need to reach out and find some help in all of this. Plus, I retired this past year, and now I'm like, oh, what do you do when you retire? So I just wanted to find out more about the organization. I remember when this organization started, and I thought it was great at the time, but I never reached out at that time. Oh, and my
Thank you for
title is,
sharing.
my title is still on my picture, I see. I was an early childhood specialist and now I do early childhood consulting.
Well, congratulations on your somewhat retirement.
Yeah.
And then let's see, we haven't heard from Glenn. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I live locally in Tompkins County. I have aging parents, and I'm just curious about resources in our community for them. It's mainly why I'm here. I know that the organization I used to work for, Challenge, used to do some things with Love Living at Home, but that's my only connection.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll have we can have Cassie talk a little bit about how we currently work with Challenge. And let's see, how about Holly?
Hi, thanks for having me on. It's really wonderful to see everybody thinking about the same thing. My mama's 87 years old. She's fifth or maybe even sixth generation Ithacan. So it makes me a seventh, and we're struggling and also happy to have her at home, but really needing to know how you do this thing, as she, she's declining, but also her beautiful self. And so, and I also work for Cornell Cooperative Extension's transportation program. And so we're thinking about elders a lot, about how they get around, and hearing some kind of creative solutions, like a group of older women who were really just felt super isolated, and they were all on bus routes. And so they ended up just getting on the bus and staying on the bus all day long. And while everybody else got onto the bus, and they just zoom around the county and played trivia games on the bus and talked to the driver. And now they do it every month. So, some stuff like that where you're like,
Wow.
God, this doesn't have to be so hard.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, funny.
I see Kasum. Welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself? You are muted, so you have to unmute.
Now it's okay?
We can
Yes.
hear you. Yep.
Yeah, we are here since 69. And when LLH was trying to open the office, I just heard from some friends and we invite them. I don't remember the name who started actually, or who was thinking to start. And then we had a wonderful meeting and they explained everything. But that time I was young. So I didn't realize how much I need that LLH help, so we didn't give it that much attention, but it was keeping in my mind. And and then I think in 7 or 8 years ago, our neighbor, Ann Rhoda, she told me about LLH, and I said, oh, I heard that about LLH, and then I decided to join. And since I joined this LLH, we enjoy so much. It's a beautiful organization, beautiful people, and so many nice activities. So we don't feel like we are lonely, or we feel we are not missing even his own family or relatives or India, I can say that way too. Because all friends are so wonderful and very helpful. So I'm very happy to join LLH, and every day I enjoy and I learn from each other. Thank you.
Well, that's so nice. Thank you so much for sharing. We're happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let's see, Denise, would you like to share?
Oh, it was okay. Went on a little bit longer than I.
Hi, I know nothing about LLH. I just noticed the blurb on the chamber thing. I'm actually interested on my own behalf.
I'm not.
I've recently retired. I'm an Ithaca native. I've recently retired from a bed and breakfast and from doing a myriad of things. And now I'm just a writer, and I'm having lots and lots of health issues. And my older sister has moved in who also has health issues. So we're just thinking about which one of us is going to become needy first. And we're already like taking each other to the doctor sometimes because somebody can't walk, and so it's, I have no idea what this organization does, but it sounded intriguing. I thought I should check it out for future.
Awesome. Great. Well, we are glad to have you. Thank you. Jim, would you mind just muting Mary Beth's screen? Looks like it has Jim as the host.
You're very faint.
There we go. Perfect. All right. So we are so glad to have you all. Thank you for joining us. If anyone else wants to introduce themselves but does not want to go on the camera, feel free to pop it in the chat. I will now, if it lets me, I will share my screen.
Oh, sorry, I don't have access to my camera. I just want to introduce myself really quick. My name is Nate Smith. I'm with Law New York, or Legal Assistance of Western New York. I work in early intervention homelessness prevention, so I'm often working with seniors and others with disabilities. So having access to as many resources and understanding what resources are available to folks is important.
Great. Thank you for sharing. We're happy to have you. And let's see. So we will go ahead. We just have a presentation with some slides here. Can everyone see this okay?
Yeah.
All right. And we will have Jim go ahead and get started.
Then you need to back up. Oh, there we go. Sorry. You're a step ahead of me.
All right.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Thanks for taking time. I hope you're managing to stay cool today. I just checked the weather before we came on. It was 90 degrees and it feels like 100. So that's pretty unusual for Ithaca. So again, my name is Jim Darniter. I am co-chair of the board of Love Living at Home and chair of the Marketing Communications Committee. I'll be doing an overview with you and tell you a little bit how we got started. And then you can see the lineup of the various people that are going to be coming on board throughout. Two things. One is we will have a question and answer at the end of the session. So you can either put your questions in chat or just hang on to them until we get to the Q&A part. And also, I think most of you or all of you know that this is being recorded. And we do that for the people who weren't able to come get into the Zoom, or anybody else who is interested in linking in. So you can move forward, Thena. So Love Living at Home is a 501c3 not-for-profit. We started in 2016 after 2 years of preparation and getting ready for the organization. Our mission is to enhance the lives of our members age 50 or above. The 50-year-old minimum requirement actually parallels AARP. We serve the Tompkins County area. So I say area in that if you're just outside of Tompkins County and we can service you, we will certainly include you in our organization. We give help to members when it's needed, and we'll go through more of that in a little bit. And we provide a lot of choices to keep our members socially connected and intellectually challenged. And again, we'll go through that. So how it all started, basically, probably almost 20 years ago in Beacon Hill in Boston, there are a group of seniors that were getting on in age, and they got talking about the needs that they had, both socially as well as in-house kind of fix-it type things. And they decided to start a village, and that's the first village that was ever formed. It still is alive and well today. The way Love Living at Home in Ithaca got started was that the Brian Williams nightly news show on NBC featured his parents in New Canaan, Connecticut, who belonged to a village. And so a few people that Jim and Leslie Quest and my wife Kathy Garner were the three people that founded the organization after seeing Brian's show and decided that that could work in Ithaca. We are part of a network. It's called the Village to Village Network. It is a loose organization from the standpoint that we basically share information. Each village is different, and each village services their members based on what their members need. So as we know, physical limitations increase as we get older. And, you know, we lose strength, we lose balance, our endurance isn't what it used to be. So physically, we're changing. Our social circles also change over time, and this often happens very slowly. So, you know, when we're working, you know, we have a lot of social connection every day with people. But when we retire, those social connections a lot of times either reduce or go away. We find that we've got lots of spare time. Sometimes our friends are moving away to warmer climates, or you know, they may be moving closer to their kids if they're in that kind of a situation. So what we want is to maintain our social connections or to establish new ones. We also want a purposeful life, and we want a vehicle where we can really express ourselves and maybe learn some new things. Maybe we used to be into photography and we want to get back into it, you know, whatever your interests are. We also want to maintain our home independence, and that's basically kind of the name Love Living at Home, is helping people stay in their homes as long as they wish or are capable of. 90% of seniors want to stay in their home as long as possible. And we have one of our charter members very early on. Anyway, one of our charter members very early on said, "I love this organization because I get to stay in my house with my rules." And I thought that was pretty profound. Okay, what we need also is to be safe and secure. And Love Living at Home provides the ability to share information so that we can take care of ourselves better. We want to be healthy and stay active. So, you know, all of those things that we read about every day that keep us well and healthy. And we want mental stimulation and social connection. And the third leading cause of death of seniors is social isolation. And so one of the big things that we do is to keep our members engaged in what they want. We also want to give back to the community, and we do that by volunteering. And we can volunteer as members or
size 10, double wide, black.
Those people who
or brown or whatever, but I prefer black.
Will you mute Zippy?
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're like $200. So.
Jim, will you mute Zippy?
That's why I only get them
I
every
can
couple of years.
Yes,
Really
you're
great
the
every
host.
time. So I was getting ready to order a new pair because I knew they were about ready to die.
Okay, I think I successfully muted. Okay.
Sounds like it. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. And we also want to have access to help when the need arises, and you never know when that's going to be. Just a quick example. I'm one of the handymen in the organization. I'm, you know, very physically active. I don't really need services until I needed it one day when I was in a bike accident and needed to find a hospital bed so that I could actually get up out of bed. And so Love Living at Home helped me find that. So you just never know when the needs are going to arise. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on our organization, but we do have a board of directors. We have half a dozen committees that are very active, and our members make up a lot of those committees, but we also have volunteers come from the outside, and we'll get more into that. We're a member-driven organization. We're a bottoms-up organization. So for example, when a member has an idea for a new program, they can bring that forward to the program committee and so on. So we highly encourage our members to be active. Our members who are actively engaged in the organization get way more out of their membership than people who are just out there. The basic bottom line is members can make one phone call to the office, and we will find a way to provide help. Last year, we provided over 1,400 services to our members, and the services that we started with were kind of limited until we found out that life throws all kinds of curveballs at you. And so what we don't have an exact list of services we provide, but if a member has a need, either we will provide that through our volunteers, or we can help direct our members to local organizations that might be able to provide more help. So from a connection standpoint, we really do try and keep our members connected. We have a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of Zoom programs that are very highly attended. So actually Zoom kind of saved the organization over the lifespan of COVID, and our membership grew, and we were able to keep people connected. We also did it through our newsletter. It's called Connections, and it comes out once a month. If you're not on the mailing list, you can certainly get on our website and drop us a note, and we'll put you on our mailing list. But there are so we have 205 members right now, but the newsletter goes out to over 1,000 people in the community. And we do it, number one, to keep our members informed, but we also do it to keep the community informed of what sort of resources are available to our members.
Everyone.
I see the blue screen, Tina.
That just means that you'll pass it on to, let's see. I believe Cassie is going to chat about services and volunteering.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. So everyone, again, I'm Cassie, and I love living at home, and just a little bit about our services. As Jim mentioned, we provided over 1,450 services in 2023. We do encourage our members to reach out with any needs they might have. Often we have a volunteer who can help, or we can help connect them with other resources in the community. So some of the general areas that we have volunteers helping with include grocery shopping, errands, other household tasks, minor home maintenance, lawn and garden projects, transportation within Tompkins County. So that could be for a medical appointment, shopping, to an LLH program. We helped quite a few people during COVID to, get rides to immunization appointments. We also have volunteers who will do friendly visits. We do check-in calls if somebody needs support. And again, rides to a lot of our programming. Maybe the next slide. And these are some photos of volunteers helping, one giving someone a ride to the airport, helping build a couple stands, giving some tech help. Next slide. Helping move some items, again, some gardening, or some snow shoveling when we have that. And two members give us permission to share their stories. This is one member who joined primarily for help with services. So he was getting help with volunteers picking up groceries, giving rides to appointments, helping with handy person tasks around the house. But something new, also developed, connections with volunteers, made some new friends, connected with, some old friends. And then the volunteer that was helping him, they just started going out to lunch together and just having social visits. And I think they've gone to quite a few lunches all throughout the county at different restaurants. And then another member, Nancy, she joined primarily for programs. Didn't expect to need many services aside from, some minor things, help with technology questions or other tasks. But something happened. And she ended up needing help for a few months after an accident, with rides to appointments or, picking up groceries, other errands, and just having someone check in and, while she was recovering and making sure that she had everything she needed. So that was all things that Love Living at Home could help with. Slide. So there's just, a little snippet of the services that we provide. And then we have a lot of wonderful volunteers who are helping provide those, connecting, members and volunteers in the county. So our volunteers can give help in person or virtually. Our volunteers come from Love Living at Home members and also just interested community members who want to help. Our volunteers help on our task forces and our committees. They also help in the office. Members are not required to volunteer, but we always encourage them to. And, research shows, we say, and we have lots of volunteers who attest to this, that it just improves their health and they enjoy giving back to the community and staying connected. A lot of our members and volunteers, those connections, that just continues to help to build our community. And volunteering is very flexible. You can help, when and how you want. There's no minimum time commitments. We have volunteers who might help once a week, once a season when they're in town. It's very flexible. Next slide. And this is just another example of volunteers helping with some tabling events in the community. This is a link to our volunteer opportunities. So if you're interested in learning more, please reach out and we can, connect you with our list of opportunities and discuss it a little bit more. Slide. And then this is just some photos from our community celebration that took place in June. And this is just a celebration that we have annually to thank all of our volunteers. Just for all the great work they do. And it's a great time for everyone to get connected and celebrate. It's just a few pictures. And I think I'll pass it off to, is it Carol who's going to talk about programs?
I chaired the program committee for quite a while, along with Robin DeMovie. We were co-chairs. And we have a program committee made up of lots of our members, and members of LLH give us ideas, and someone will say, oh, I think we should do this or we should do that, and we try to accomplish that. Before COVID, all of our programs were in person. And Zoom has made programming so much easier, and you can stay in your own home and click on to whatever program we happen to be presented. Today, for instance, we have this information session, and at 4:30, we have our weekly current events hour, and there's a rotating person in charge of current events. We usually have 25 to 30 members on the Zoom, and we discuss issues of the day in Ithaca, in the county, in the world. And that's great fun and really interesting. The programs are sometimes meet and mingles at someone's house or in a restaurant. We have happy hours on Zoom. We have a group that just clicks on from their houses or their living rooms and just shares whatever it is they want to share. And then we have another group of sharing stories from their lives, and that's fun. We have a men's walking group and a women's walking group that I lead. We're having lunches at Cup of Joe at Pyramid Mall, well, the shops at the Ithaca Mall, and also at Adams Cafe at the Corners. So that meets, they meet every other week and have some lunch together. We've got a book group, a playwriting group, so many groups, trivia once a month, co-housing and staying at home discussions. And we often have guest speakers. And Dr. John Costello is a member, and he will be an upcoming co-chair of the board, but he's been giving us regular updates on COVID, and he's going to be presenting another one in the next couple of weeks because sadly, we have COVID more again in this county. One of our members, Martha Haynes, is a professor of I have a blank. But she gives astronomy, and she gives talks about that periodically. We have had picnics together, history talks about different subjects by some of our members, talks about the weather. The Tompkins County Public Library gives us talks about various offerings that they have that we can use. We go to the Johnson Museum or have programs from the museum on Zoom. We've had trips scheduled on the MV Teal boat in nice weather, and the list goes on and on and on. And so these ideas, as I said, come from our members or members of the committee. And we are excited to explore new ideas and try to make them happen. And so, one other thing we have done that started at the beginning of COVID is to deliver Thanksgiving dinners from Wegmans, and members pay for it and they order their dinners, and then we have volunteers that have delivered them. And we're still doing it even though COVID has somewhat passed by, but it's been so well received, and that was an idea for one of our members. So if you have questions, we'll be happy to answer them at the end. And now Wendy. Here are some slides of some of our programs. We had a tour at Teganic Falls State Park. We've done several cooking classes at Cultivari, happy hours. We've had a number of dinners at the Antlers and picnics, either in parks or on somebody's deck.
And you can visit the calendar on the Love Living at Home website just to get an idea of the offerings that we have either daily, weekly, monthly, or annually.
Hi, everybody.
Wendy.
Yeah, I'm Wendy. So good to see you. We're glad you're here. Membership, who joins? I can't say enough that there are so many different kinds of people with different interests. I am part of Stories of Our Lives, and I feel so lucky because one of the members of this group is a centennial. And so the stories that person shares of her life just enrich mine in such a new way. So you have centennials, and then you have people who are 70 and younger and those in between. So the ages are, there's a big difference. We also have people from different backgrounds with different skill sets. It's very interesting. And I think the opportunities that Carol has outlined gives you an idea of the many ways that people make these connections, whether in person or online. It is a community that is welcoming. It does embrace new ideas. I was at Cup of Joe's. There is a couple there who they're probably 88, and they feel very passionate about the value of trying to keep moving and the why. And so they were instrumental in helping us hold a program at the Y so that we could connect and learn more about their resources. Making sure that all of our volunteers are matched with people who need those services that Cassie outlined, whether it's from gardening to getting groceries. We do have a staff, and that staff is wonderful and helping us keep running smoothly. And because we have a staff, we do have a budget, but our dues only cover 35% of our costs. So our dues are, if you think about it on a monthly basis, It's about $39 a month for an individual, or about $49.50 for a household. Looking at the villages nationwide, this is in the mid-tier range. So, you know, you think of all of the many programs, to think ways you might be involved. It's really a good value for the dollars spent. You know, the housing options group that was mentioned about earlier, I think Carol mentioned it. It's just so interesting. I don't know if Kasum is still on, but I think she's been involved with that too. And just, you know, bringing together people with an interest and, all right, I'm not ready to go to a senior facility, but I'm not ready to stay in my own home. What do we do? And so I think our members are just fabulous, and they're, you know, they're diverse and they are engaged. Is there another slide? I don't know. Okay. So when somebody becomes, either you could become a trial member, and that is, you could do that for 3 months and it's free of charge. The thing that I forgot to mention before about becoming a member, for people who are finding that their pocketbooks are a little tight, there is the opportunity to talk to our director and become a sponsored member, which should make that an easier way for you financially. But once you're a trial member or a paying member or a sponsored member, you are asked, what would you like to get out of Love Living at Home? Would you like a mentor? Would you like to meet with Carol or Wendy or Jim and just have us remind you of the ways to get engaged, or even buddy up with you so that you're not feeling alone? We do a lot of calls to check in, to welcome you. We also send, I'm part of membership, we send out a hard copy letter to everybody for your first month, your second month, your third month. It's meant to be instructive, also to help you feel connected. We do a lot of phone calls, hundreds of phone calls, especially when we have events. If we have social events, or we're going to be having an upcoming kind of a town hall meeting to bring everybody up to date, we'll be calling people, just saying, hey, how are you? And also, hey, did you remember that we're having this great event? We hope you can come. So we are eager to connect with people, either in person or online. And I do think for people like our we have 2 Centennial members, I think, at least, Thina will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Zoom programs are really, really helpful because they know people who go to the programs and they feel connected, but they don't have to worry about getting in a car and going somewhere. So I think that is really valuable. These mixers that we have, we often will have, right now we're having coffees for new members, and in somebody's home, it's Marsha Kepix and Nina Glasgow kind of host those so that people can kind of gather together, meet each other, meet other people, and also talk about the ways that they want to get involved with Love Living at Home, or ask questions about maybe how their needs could be better met. So that's about it for our caring, connected community.
Thank you, Wendy. So I just wanted to touch a little bit about Love Living at Home in the community. So as everyone has mentioned so far, there are plenty of ways to get involved as a volunteer, providing services to our members. But we also offer the opportunity to get more involved with the community. One example of that is our food insecurity group that just came up as a member-run interest group. As of right now, the food insecurity group meets quarterly to address issues around food insecurity right here in Tompkins County. So since I have started, there have been 2 major drives completely run, organized, and promoted by Love Living at Home. That includes the photo on the left, which is stocking the new food pantry at the Ithaca High School. And on the right, we did a drive to collect hygiene products for the Samaritan Center at Catholic Charities. We also have members that just regularly keep the small food pantries around town, the food cupboards stocked. So our membership base is just really great at giving back to the community. I'm just going to read, so on the screen, you can see our diversity, inclusion, and racial justice policy and procedure. So from the beginning, the Love Living at Home Steering Committee and the first board of directors were committed to diversity and inclusion. Our goal was to have membership reflect the entire Tompkins County community and work to break down any known or future barriers to membership. The purpose of this policy is to ensure that we continue our commitment to diversity and inclusion at all levels of the organization and to work with our community partners on issues of social and racial justice. On the next slide, I won't read these now because I'd like to have lots of time for questions at the end. But this just shows you that everyone kind of plays a part and has a role in making sure that we stay true to our policies and procedures. So both myself, our board, and then committees and committees chairs each have a role. So Wendy had also mentioned the David Sprague sponsored membership fund. So David Sprague was on the original Love Living at Home steering committee and was a board member until he retired in December 2022. His guidance was instrumental in making us a strong and sustainable organization, and his knowledge and passion for Love Living at Home has been invaluable. So after his passing, Board of Directors approved the establishment of the David Sprague Sponsored Membership Fund. This fund honors his commitment in helping others who might need extra assistance to become a member. So about 15% of our current membership base is sponsored members, and they do remain completely anonymous. If you are interested in a sponsored membership, you can contact me directly. So my email address is just at the bottom of this slide, but then on our website as well. You can also choose to start with a free 3-month trial. And then once your trial is up, then contact me and we can start you as a sponsored member. So these are just some more photos of activities that we have done this past year. There's the men's and women's walking group, a meet and mingle at one of our members' homes, a group of us volunteering at the Mac and Cheese Bowl, and then the last photo is receiving the James J. Burns Award for our volunteer base at Tompkins Trust Company. I would also like to just read a quick member testimonial. I think Kasum gave us a great testimonial earlier, so I just have one more to share. So this is submitted by one of our members. I am a person who has always embraced my independence. It was difficult for me. Thankfully, I came to the place where I realized that asking for help is not a weakness. I have come to enjoy the community, friendships, and helpers facilitated by LLH. I don't have to figure out all my needs alone anymore. I have a community. And then if you would like to join us, you can either call us at the phone number on the screen, you can email our office, or you can visit our website and go to the Join Us tab and then click Membership Application. If you are feeling inspired today, you can also just stay right on this Zoom call and Cassie will stay for a few minutes afterwards and she can get you signed up right today. So other than that, I will open it up for questions. So I will stop the share so we can see each other. All right. So I'll start with, did any, I guess, presenters have any questions or anything that they can think of that we didn't mention in today's presentation?
Nothing I can think of.
All right. And then, were there any questions from anyone that tuned in today?
So
Denise.
Yes, how do you get on the list for the email list for the newsletter, excuse me?
So you can do it right through our website, but also if you're interested, I can just make a note and I can add you right after this meeting. Okay. And then I guess I will talk a little bit just about the Connections newsletter that Jim had mentioned. So that goes out to our full member base, all of our volunteers, and then also just community members. So the mailing list for the Connection newsletter is about 2,000 people in Tompkins County. So we try to include, other community offerings that are happening, and that goes out the first Saturday of every month. There's also a weekly email that goes out to let you know of the upcoming events for the following week. So that goes out Sunday mornings. And then typically Monday through Friday, there is an email in the morning that gives you all of the Zoom links and details for that day's programs and events.
Nothing, I wanted to follow on Wendy's comment about members joining for different reasons. I mean, that's so true. There's some members that join that do not need any services at the current time, but want to get engaged in the organization, pay it forward, if you will. And there are people who are very socially active and want to do more, and there are people who are not that socially active, but maybe pick and choose from our menu of different programs that they might want to tap into via Zoom or whatever. So it's very interesting how people come to the organization. I know I used to live in Syracuse until about 10 years ago, so my roots are not deep in the community. But when you join Love Living at Home, you basically have an instant community of a couple hundred friends. I'm very interested in sports, and through Love Living at Home, I've met especially a couple of guys who are also interested in sports. So we go to Cornell hockey games, basketball, you name it. They both become walking buddies of mine. So actually yesterday I was out walking with one of my friends that I met through Love Living at Home. So, by being engaged and active in the organization, you just meet people, and it ends up you find people with your own interests.
Great. Thank you, Jim. All right. Did we have any other questions today? Okay, well, in that case, I guess we can hop off and get ready for this rain or tornado that apparently is coming. But if you do have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the office or to me directly. You all should have my email now that I sent out the registration link to you, or you can visit lovelivingathome.org. And if you are interested in finding out more or signing up today, just stay right on this Zoom, and Cassie and I will stay and get you oriented. All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Be safe.
Bye, Katie, Cassie.
Take care.
Okay, bye.